I grew up watching Edgar Wright's movies every day after school. Shaun of the Dead, Spaced, Hot Fuzz, Scott Pilgrim. I was a little bit obsessed. I didn't realise it at the time, but I was learning a skill that would be really important for my future career in writing. I couldn't have actually imagined I would one day be a writer back then. Edgar Wright shoots visual comedy in a really specific way that uses the frames to hit the punchlines. The jokes don't just come from the characters, they come from the montages, the smash cuts, the labels, all of those extra things that are the work of the director rather than the actors. You might get exposition through a funny note on a fridge wall. He repeats mundane lines like, "Do you want anything from the shop?" until they become more meaningful and tell us something deeper about the character relationships. Pause for Ollie, who is being a very good boy right now. There will be moments when the key cinematic event, like someone being chased by zombies, is completely missed by the main character, who is just overwhelmed by the mundane aspects of his normal daily life. Often the more restrained characters become the heroes, while the flamboyant, outgoing characters are relegated to sidekick status. In fact, the thing that makes the heroes in Edgar Wright movies interesting is the fact that they have a very understated reaction to outlandish events. And this helps bring us, the viewer, in on the joke, because we can all see something like some major bit of plot foreshadowing that the protagonist is oblivious to. All of these ideas were things I tried to draw on when scripting my first graphic novel, The Victors. This is the first book where I've been able to play with real visual comedy. The closest you're normally able to get to this kind of visual cinematography humour in a prose novel is when you include different elements alongside the prose, like emails or texts or notes on a fridge. Elements like newspaper articles or tweets can be used in the same way that a fast cutaway can be used on a TV screen to emphasise or undercut a moment of tension. I've been using these multimedia elements in my books ever since my debut novel, The Next Together, came out in 2014. I use them a lot to emphasise a blind spot in my protagonist's perspective, or maybe give a more wide world perspective on the action rather than limiting it to my close first person perspective. It's also a great way to get moments of banter or humour into a story where there's not a break in the action that allows that in the present scene. That fun contrast can do great things with the tension, and it can also just make the world feel more lived in and real, as well as making the characters feel more fleshed out. Writing is fun. It's like playing with your favourite toys and putting them in as many situations as you can just to see how they react. I have that kind of fun when I'm writing, and I see the same fun being mirrored in Edgar Wright's work. He's enjoying playing with the medium of film just as much as he's enjoying telling a specific story. That love of the medium is the big reason why I wanted to branch out into writing graphic novels. After working on the TV show Heartstopper in the writer's room, I was really keen to write something in a very tight cinematic format. I wanted to see how I could push the potential comedy to its limits. It's a bit of a literary puzzle writing a self-contained novel, and for The Victors I was given a page count before I'd written a single word, and I had to stick to that page count exactly. So trying to make that work within those constraints is a really fun challenge for a writer. British comedy in general really shaped my sense of humour, from Black Books to Misfits and Green Wing. I love watching unlovable misfits find kindred spirits and become worse. When I watch these shows back now, I can see the genesis of Dirk and Medusa in pairs like Bernard and Manny and Tim and Daisy. These archetypal high energy, low energy pairings that can make comedy sing. There's a huge contrast between Dirk and Medusa, vibrant and outgoing to subdued and quiet. These things are essential for the comedy in the story because you need that contrast. We see a lot of talk of cosy books in 2026, whether that's cozy fantasy or even something like cozy horror or cozy dystopia. And what we really mean by that, I think, is that it's a story where we want to spend time with the characters. You read them because you want to hang out with them, even when there's low or no action. You just enjoy spending time in their world. That was what I was getting from Edgar Wright's movies and TV shows as a teenager. His worlds made me feel cozy, even with all the zombie attacks. And I hope that's the same feeling that you get from reading The Victors. Although I can't promise there's no zombies.